8 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, a Copa America, a World Cup won in the most dramatic final the sport has ever seen. By every trophy, every record, every statistic that exists, Lionel Messi stands alone. But trophies and records are not why he is the greatest. To understand why Messi is the greatest of all time, we need to go back to a moment when nobody believed he would play football at all. Lionel Andres Messi was born in Rosario, Argentina in 1987. A quiet child in a football-obsessed city, he had the ball at his feet before he could walk. By age 5, he was already doing things with a football that made adults stop and stare. But something was wrong. He was small, dangerously small. At age 11, doctors diagnosed him with a growth hormone deficiency. The treatment cost $900 a month. His father's insurance covered some of it. Then the Argentine economy collapsed. The payments stopped. No local club would take the risk. River Plate said no. Newell's Old Boys, his boyhood team, could not afford it. A 13-year-old boy was told his body would never let him become a footballer. But here's the thing about Lionel Messi. He didn't argue. He didn't complain. He simply continued doing what he had always done, playing. A family connection arranged a trial at FC Barcelona. Messi flew to Spain with his father, carrying a football in his hand luggage. At the trial, the technical director, Carles Rixac, watched for 10 minutes. 10 minutes was all he needed. He wrote a contract on a napkin. A paper napkin in a Barcelona restaurant became the most famous document in football history. Barcelona agreed to pay for Messi's treatment. They moved his entire family to Spain. A boy who had been abandoned by Argentine football was given a second chance by a Catalan club 6,000 miles from home. He was 13 years old, alone in a foreign country, separated from his mother and siblings, living in a small apartment with his father. The other boys at La Masia were bigger, stronger, more developed. They mocked his size. They called him El Mudo, the mute, because he barely spoke. He let his feet do the talking. By 16, Messi was playing for Barcelona's B team. By 17, he made his first team debut. By 18, he scored his first league goal, assisted by Ronaldinho, the greatest player in the world at the time, who picked up the boy on his back and presented him to the Camp Nou. Ronaldinho knew. He told everyone who would listen, "This kid will be better than me." At 19, Messi scored a hat-trick against Real Madrid in El Clasico. At 21, he won his first Ballon d'Or. At 22, he scored 4 goals against Arsenal in a single Champions League match. By 24, he had won 3 Champions Leagues and was being compared to Pelé and Maradona. And yet the debate never stopped. Because greatness in football is not measured in goals. It is not measured in trophies. It is measured against the one prize that defines legends, the World Cup. 2006, Germany. An 18-year-old Messi watches from the bench as Argentina exits in the quarter-finals. He scores 1 goal in the tournament, a glimpse. 2010, South Africa. Argentina is destroyed 4-0 by Germany in the quarter-finals. Messi finishes the tournament with 0 goals. 0. The criticism begins. He doesn't perform for Argentina. He doesn't care about the shirt. He will never be Maradona. 2014, Brazil. This was supposed to be the one. Messi dragged Argentina to the final almost single-handedly. 4 goals. The Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. The World Cup final against Germany. 113 minutes of agony. A single German goal. Argentina lost 1-0. The cameras captured the image that would haunt football for 8 years. Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time, walking past the World Cup trophy without looking at it. Unable to look at it. The prize that defined greatness, and he could not touch it. He was 27, in his prime, and he had failed. The years that followed were cruel. 2015, Copa America final. Argentina loses to Chile on penalties. 2016 Copa America final. Argentina loses to Chile on penalties again. Messi misses his penalty. He walks off the pitch. He announces his international retirement at 29 years old. I tried my hardest. It hurts not to be a champion. It's not for me. Argentina wept. The world wept. The greatest player of his generation had given up on his country. But football doesn't care about scripts. You cannot tell Messi's story without Ronaldo. For 15 years, they pushed each other to heights the sport had never seen. Messi was the genius. Ronaldo was the machine. Messi made football look like art. Ronaldo made it look like science. Between them, they scored over 1,600 goals. They won 13 Ballon d'Ors between them. They broke every record that existed and then broke each other's. But here's what made this rivalry truly special. It was never about them. It was about what they represented. Messi represented talent, pure, natural, God-given. Ronaldo represented work, relentless, obsessive, earned. And the world split in two. You were Team Messi or Team Ronaldo. There was no middle ground. For years, one argument dominated. Ronaldo had the European Championship. Messi had nothing with Argentina. The critics sharpened their knives. The greatest of all time cannot be defined by club trophies alone. Pelé won 3 World Cups. Maradona carried Argentina. The weight of an entire nation pressed down on one small man from Rosario. December 18, 2022, Lusail Stadium, Qatar. Argentina versus France. The World Cup final. Messi is 35 years old. He has already announced this will be his last World Cup match. One game to answer every question that had haunted him for 17 years. Argentina went 2-0 up. Messi scored a penalty. Then Kylian Mbappé, the heir to the throne, scored twice in 97 seconds. 2-2. Extra time. Messi scored again. A scrappy goal. The ball barely crossed the line. 3-2. Then Mbappé equalized again. 3-3. Penalties. Gonzalo Montiel stepped up for the winning penalty. The ball hit the net. Messi dropped to his knees before the ball even reached the goalkeeper. He was crying. His teammates swarmed him. 90,000 people roared. 1.5 billion people watched. He had finally done it. 17 years, 5 World Cups, 1 lost final, 2 Copa America final defeats. A retirement, a return, millions of doubters, and now, at last, the trophy was in his hands. He didn't walk past it this time. He kissed it. He held it. He slept with it. So why is Lionel Messi the greatest of all time? Not because of the 8 Ballon d'Ors. Pelé never won one. The award didn't exist. Not because of the World Cup. Other players have won it too. Not because of the goals. Records are broken. Numbers fade. Messi is the greatest because he did something no other player has done. He married 2 things that should be incompatible: the genius of the artist and the consistency of the machine. Diego Maradona burned bright for 4 years. Ronaldinho's prime lasted 3. Ronaldo Nazario's knees betrayed him. Even Pelé retired at 34. But Messi sustained magic for 2 decades. 20 years at the absolute peak of world football. 20 years of doing things that should not be possible. 20 years of making professionals look like children. 20 years of silence, humility, and football in its purest form. The boy who was too small to play became the man who stands above everyone. And here is the final truth. We will argue about Messi versus Ronaldo, Messi versus Pelé, Messi versus Maradona for as long as football exists. Debates are what make this sport eternal. But there will never be another Lionel Messi. Not because the records cannot be broken, but because the combination, the art and the consistency, the genius and the longevity, the silence and the fire, That combination belongs to one man alone, the boy from Rosario, the man who walked past the trophy and then came back to lift it. The greatest of all time. Follow UBTV for more legendary sports stories.